So, just another day in the life of a man who's got a lot to do around the house. It's time to take care of some yard work, take care of some dogs, and thought I'd take you on a little journey of what I see and what I come across, because there's some interesting things along the way. In the house, you're going to have the small dogs. There's one of my little Shih Tzus. The other one's floating around here somewhere. They have their own bowl of food and water. Then outside the house, well, these are the female dogs. They like to sleep up on the porch with us, guarding the house at nighttime. Yes, hello, sweetheart. Yes, hi. This dog has to say hello to me every time. Hi, sweetheart. My other little dog that lives upstairs, this one here will guard the house, and then, of course, they have their food up here. When you have a lot of dogs, you need to keep your shoes outside, because this is Thailand. It's always a good place to keep them locked up so that the dogs don't chew them. We've lost enough shoes to that recently. Sometimes you got to have gates around your front of your house to keep the bigger dogs from beating up the smaller dogs. I wouldn't necessarily say beat up, but Cafe, he's so smart he knows his name, he will bully them. So the girls like to sleep up here at night, the boy dogs sleep on the stairs, and everybody's guarding the stairs. Let's go for a walk. You're going to find dogs hanging out at all kinds of places around my house. Now, let's go take a look and see how they're doing in the driveway. Let's go see how they're doing in the driveway. So, they're going to have their big buckets of food here for the big dogs. 2, 3, 4, 5 big buckets of food. 2 big troughs of water. And the next thing I need to do is go around the house and go pick mulberries. So, you can see I've got some mulberries growing here and here. Lots of mulberries on the yard on this tree, and I've been pulling off 40, 50 of these things every couple days. I gotta go pick all of these, and then after I pick it, gotta come back and trim it down, and that's how you get it to grow big again. So get more mulberries by cutting all these sticks, and then it kind of grows like a rose bush. Earlier today I did happen to catch something pretty cool, and I'm gonna shine the light on there so you can see, if you can see them. You've got 1, 2, let's see if we can get some better light in there. Aren't those just the most beautiful creatures you've ever seen? 2K geckos. I've got a boy and a girl and some eggs. And I'm not seeing any babies. Let's see if I can get them to come up. Yeah, look at that mouth. Oh, beautiful these creatures are. There we go. You can kind of get an idea. So these guys are living in whitewash. Just some bricks we have sitting around. I do find them to be quite beautiful. Look at all their poop down there. Ugh, disgusting. Let's see if I can get him to open his mouth again. Oh, she's happy. Oh, she's excited. Now I got my other mulberry bush, and you can see I have them here quick enough, and they're already mulberries on the ground. So I got to clean all this up and then trim it down. But these guys here, really good berries if you get a chance to eat them. Mulberries. Very common here in Thailand. Next, I got to clean out the dog swimming pool. It's more like a watering hole. Little 2-foot deep thing, and once a week we'll just dump all this water out and fill it back up again. And you got to scrub this thing really clean first. But the dogs just love to cool off on here when it's really hot. I'm really excited with this plant here because it's now finally starting to grow straight. This is a Hass avocado tree. We've had it here for 3 years, and it has grown maybe 6 inches until I put the bricks around it, and now it's starting to grow straight and healthy. I think because the dogs can't get to it as easily. Pretty much every tree I own, the taller they are, they always seem to have bird nests in them. This tree is no exception. This is a pomelo tree. We've had, in the 3 years that it's been here, 3 pomelos grow on it, so it hasn't been the most exciting tree for us. And it was supposed to be red pomelos, and they ended up being yellow. And I really wanted to take it down, but my wife decides that she wants to keep it. But there's my bird's nest. A little cloudy today with a little bit of chance of rain, they say, and it is already raining. Over here is our orange tree, and it grows these really cool looking striped oranges. The meat in these things are chewy as can be. Next on my list is climbing this ladder, which I don't enjoy, and cutting down coconuts. You got to cut them down, otherwise they will fall down and they might hit a dog. It's better to cut them down, drink the milk, or the water I should say, and then the meat goes to the dogs. My dogs just love coconuts. And I've got 1, 2, 3 trees that I need to do that on. Here's another one of the coconut trees in the yard. This is tree number 4, and it's for the first time in a long time, it's actually got baby coconuts growing on it. I like it about this tree in particular, it's not very tall. I can literally just grab a small ladder to climb up here and cut down the coconuts. And first time, wow, it's really doing well. A lot of coconuts on here. We had one bad one here, but definitely might get some coconuts on this tree this year. This tree is less than 10 years old, and I do see a gecko hanging up there on the leaf. Here's that gecko. I'm trying to zoom in on it, and I've taken it off of to be shaky here, so I apologize here if my hands are shaking. I do love creatures on my yard. That's about as good as I can get it. And he is facing upside down. I then get my banana tree that's got some bananas on it. Come Mr. Tallyman, tally some of my bananas here. These are like little guy dwarf bananas. You can see all these part here is all the flowers that fell. And this is known as a banana flower. You can cut this open, and inside, because this is not going to make any more bananas. Let's see if I can pop that off. You go to the market. I'll go cut this, be right back. So this here is a banana flower. And when you open it up, you will see flowers that grow and look just like bananas would be. And as I peel back each one of these leaves, you'll see inside, let's see if I get that open here, banana flowers. And you could buy this plant right here, this portion of it, at the markets, because I know these aren't going to produce any more bananas. You can cook and eat these, and they're very good in a salad. And if you ever wonder what a virgin banana or a baby banana looks like, this is it. This is what they start off as before they turn into it. And I'm told that every one of these will have the exact same number of bananas in them, but I've actually never bothered to count. But a banana flower, and ooh, is it sticky. I'll take this, give this to the dogs, because I know one of the dogs will enjoy it. Let's see which one goes after it. Who's going to go for it? They'll just rip that apart. Or not. Either that or they're about to fight over it, and if they start fighting, well, we stop videoing. Nope, no interest. Imagine that. Next thing I've got to do for today is raking, because this plant here is now coming into fall, and of course fall means lots of leaves and flowers to rake up, and this plant pretty much produces these flowers year round, and every time the wind blows, they fall. Same for this plant over here that also produces flowers, and you can see we have them all along the fence. But this one is much nicer in that it doesn't make as much of a mess. Come out here every few weeks and trim it back down. Here is another banana tree, and you can see this flower is much larger than mine. This is my sister-in-law's house, which sits right next to ours, and her bananas are the larger bananas. We have the dwarf, and she has the big ones here. So come back here in another week, and we might actually start seeing some bananas growing on it. But you can see how the leaf is starting to split off, and the bananas are starting to form. Because this particular banana tree and where it sits is very popular for green snakes, And so far this year, I've found 3 green snakes that have fallen off here and which my dogs have wanted to play with until they're dead. I don't want to say my dogs have killed the snake, but the snake deserved it. And yesterday I just raked this, and it's already a mess from the wind last night, so not real happy about here having to rake all this again. But every day when you have this size yard, you're going to... Oh, look at that. My dogs have found... What do they find here? They found himself a salamander. Look at that. So to give you an idea on how big the salamander is and to keep my dogs away before they turn it into a treat, and I got it. So, Commander Salamander here is now going to go free to the other side of the fence before he gets more destroyed by my doggies. Go free! Hey, and he's free. One of the problems I'm having with my house right now is the well. We've had this for 4 years now, and we're having an electrical problem with the current pump, and they've had to pull out all of the PVC here that is our well, and this is how deep our well is. As I continue to walk, this right here is the top of the well. Now see, you can get an idea of how long that is. It's pretty big. If I walk it off, if I assume that every step I take is a yard, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 times 3. So yeah, it's about 60 feet deep is what I was told, and it sure does feel like it's 60 feet deep by about the pipe here. So this hopefully will get fixed today or tomorrow. In the meantime, I've had to plug it up with the plastic there. From our well, you've got this gigantic storage unit here of water, and it's about 12, 13 feet high, 5 feet in diameter. And I'm right now filling it up with our city water, which we don't like using because it's much nastier than our well. Our well is very clean water. It doesn't really require much filtering. But what happens is, it goes from the tank here, where it settles, and the sediment will fall down to about halfway, where the receiving line comes in, and goes through these 2 filtration systems, one activated carbon and one a resin, where it then gets stored into tank number 1, and then tank number 1 overflows to tank number 2. Tank number 2 then goes up and feeds the rest of the house. And then once a month you have to flush these, which means taking the 4 handles and turning each one the opposite direction, flushing it all out until the water runs clear again. Start all over, and once a year you refill the activated carbon and resin that's inside of these. Not too much of a pain in the butt, and it's pretty much self-maintaining. Doesn't take much work for me. Again, about 15 minutes to flush both of these out. If you do come over, we do have this area that we haven't cleaned up in a while because the weather has been great, but it's a place to hang out. Semi-protected from the rain, definitely protected from the sun, and keeps the dogs out. They don't jump in here. So you come on over, you can enjoy some beautiful pink and white and purple orchids. This viney thing you've got going here grows all over the place, and it will produce these incredibly red flowers, and you can see that this is coming from one stalk growing through the ground down there, and it grows like jungle all around here. It's into the ceiling, it wraps around. It is like a jungle, and that's what the idea of what this is supposed to look like. A jungle. It has that very much tropical feel to it. And when the sun has been shining for a while, we're going to get a lot of flowers. Right now I can see that my grandkids have been over here and they have all their toys here. If you're not too particular with a Texas rose cactus, or desert Texas rose, that's what this is here. And we have a lot of them. All came from one seed. One flower produced all these plants. But it is time for watering because we haven't had much rain, and even the rain we do get is just not enough for this area. So off I go to start watering the yard, or I should say just the sala. I do like these things here. They just look like grow like hair on the fence. They have no roots, no stems. They just grow. You water them. I have no idea their name, but I find them to be very cool looking. You just hang them here. There's literally, if somebody wants to know the name of it or can tell me what part is the root and what part is the stem, please, I'm always interested in horticulture. So as Ross, hope you had a lot of fun watching my day-to-day life here. It's a lot of work to do each day. Keeping an eye on the yard, the house, keeping the house clean. But it's well worth it. Life is like retired in Thailand with a wife that spends her day working, leaving me at home to do the housework, yard work, laundry, and just enjoy life all on my own schedule. Take care. And just like my other Shih Tzu, who's had a long day today, it's time to go to bed. He says he's exhausted already. I know I'm exhausted. And for me, that has been a lot of doing more life around the house. Pepsi, you ready to go to bed, buddy? He doesn't hear very well or see anymore. Not bad for a 16-year-old dog.